Okay, we're now at turn 8, the 13th of June. And over around Utah, the Germans have sent the 17th SS Panzergrenadier Division way around to the north, around through Valognes and into Montabaur to try and slow down the Americans in this area, hopefully engage in a bit of a counterattack on their positions and threaten their hold of this area. And further to the south, they moved and then counterattacked the Americans in the woods there, just east of St. Clair sur-l'Elle. And you can see those retreated Americans are disrupted just southwest of Bayeux. Over in the east, they also launched an attack on some of the 50th Division Tyne T's who have retreated to the north towards the beaches. You can see under that disrupted marker. And you can also see further south in Villas Bocage, some Tiger tanks have arrived and are just sitting there waiting for an opportunity to target some weak British units in this area. Now on the Allied turn, the Americans are feeling pretty confident. They've got a bit of breathing space around Utah. So they're looking to attack along the lines in the north, trying to push out along the beaches and around that Samaric-Lease area. And they're also shifting their forces around sur-l'Elle, in the south, trying to counter German movements there. Over in the east around Caen, there wasn't a lot of movement. Again, just a reshifting of British forces around Tilly-sur-Seille, trying to push back that German flank. And as you'll see in a moment, there's a few attacks taking place around Caen. So if we look at the results of combat, the Americans received, I think it was an exchange result in the far north, but they're beginning to push the Germans away from the beaches. You can see just to the left of Crisbeck there, I think that's where they gained some ground. So they're just on the outskirts of Montabaur on the 13th of June. And further south, they finally captured St. Clair sur-l'Elle. They did lose the woods to the southeast, as I mentioned, but captured the important town across the Elle River, which is an important town to take. It lets them move towards St-Lô now. Hopefully they can push the Germans away from the southeast and begin to make some progress. Over in the east, there were a few attacks on Caen, and I think the main one on the city, just southeast of Buron there, was a success, a DR result, but the Germans put up another successful determined defense to hold the town. You can see that reduced German mechanized infantry unit there from the 12th SS. Now, it is the end of the 13th of June. The campaign's been going for about a week now, so I wanted to provide a bit of a contrast with the historical situation. And you can see this side-by-side image here. And we can contrast the main differences. So you can see on the 13th of June, the Americans were just on the outskirts of Montabaur, as they are now. I think progress along the beaches is pretty similar. I've probably made a little bit more advance along the beaches than they did historically, but we haven't pushed out quite as far past Samaric-Lease. We're very slow capturing that, and as a result, we're not far past the marshes in this area. But the biggest setback is the fact that the Americans haven't captured Carentan yet. You can see them very held back way near Signy on the right. Further to the south, we're in a similar position, still outside Saint-Lô, not quite, well, pretty much close to that, that historical line. We are, I think historically they were just outside Tilly-sur-Seille, and the British here are past that point. And around Caen, you can see that line follows it pretty closely. Again, another setback here is that we've been pushed back across the Orne River, whereas historically the British and Canadians had secured that position to the northeast of Caen. So not too different to the circumstances as they were historically. I guess one of the problems is the Americans really feel like they've taken a battering around Utah, And looking at the situation around Caen, the British, whilst they're making slow ground, they've also been taking some hits. There are a lot of reduced units in this area. So there you go, that's the 13th of June, the end of turn 8.